Drink it in, man.
Cornbread! Cornbread! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in, man.
Cornbread! Cornbread! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in, man. Drink it in, man. Detroit Koolaid. Detroit Koolaid drinkers. What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Eric Oakley, right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast, talking about those lands. Serving up that delicious Honolulu blue flavored Kool-Aid. You know how we do. Drink it in, drink it in, man. That's a triple of the delicious Kool-Aid and a double-sided cornbread.
Cornbread!
And today, I mean, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only. You guys know him as hashtag Choppy Hockey, Chops, Choppy. The one, he's got many nicknames, many gimmicks. He's back here, and we're like, we have no notes, no prep, no nothing. We are talking NFL draft here on the show. You got to stay tuned. You don't know what we're going to say, what might come up. We might talk players. There might be a mock. There might be takes, opinions. We're doing it all here on the Koolaid Cast, as we always do. Chops, you're there. You say you're ready. You're going to entertain. You've got opinions. You've got draft content. What's going on, buddy?
Oakley, I'm a little disappointed. I feel like there's like this song I was expecting you to kind of open the show with, because here we are. It's, yes, it's the NFL draft season. Yes, we're ready to talk about names. But, I mean, there was like, I don't know, something that we kind of deemed like a easy dub for the national championship last night. Where's my hashtag Go Blue theme song, baby? Woohoo!
Chops, like, it happened last night. I've been so fired up about it all day. I'm having to get after all my Spartan friends. I'm whooping up my Wolverines. We won the championship. Just so tremendous. I mean, I didn't want to do the Seinfeld bit about you don't want to be second. You know why? Because it's like, congratulations, you almost won. No one lost ahead of you. It's like, we cashed it in. We made it to the title game. We got over the hump. We fell short a few times. We hadn't won it since '89. Shout out Go Blue, Michigan Hoops with the national title.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. First national championship since 1987.
No.
Dusty May getting it done. We're going to have to call him Dusty April because that's when he wins the ship. Just love it, man. I'm so happy about this guy. Yaxel, the whole crew, man. Like, just a great run. I think average margin of victory in the tournament, like, over 20 points. Like, insanely never heard of. Like, all the records they broke this year, getting over the top, completing it all. It all would have kind of just been second fiddle if they didn't finish the job. But, Dan punched me in the face, Hurley, on the TV show there. Like, every time they showed his ugly mug, Michigan just took it to him, stomped them down, and they were vanquished.
It was incredible, man. So good to get that off the top. My brain was in football, and we usually stick to that. But when the Wolverines win, we gotta mention it, and they win a lot. So we mention it quite a bit here on the show when we get a chance. And that other team.
Hockey's next. Hockey's next, baby. Frozen 4 this weekend. Let's go Vegas.
Hashtag Choppy Hockey. Michigan in the Frozen 4. 2 games to another natty for them. And just been dominating sports across the thing. But, Chops, we're here today to talk about the Lions dominating the NFL draft. You know what that is, Chops? You know what that is, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Hit the music. Hit the music. Can't wait to hear it.
Chops,
My
the
two favorite sound
music,
bits of the year.
the music, the pick is in. Chops, I teased it last show. We got plenty to get into, but I got an Oakley mock and it's 7 rounds. Woo! I say we debut, we discuss, you make fun of my picks, I try to validate them, we go back and forth, we give the people what they want, and then we continue to talk about players, we talk about the Lions strategy. Before you know it, it's going to be Thursday, April 23rd in Pittsburgh, and the Lions are going to be on the clock.
Oh, baby. Look, and Oakley, like my kids, we're listening to this show from last week. Amazing solo show. You did a really nice job there. You did some mic testing. You're getting ready for the draft. Loved every minute of it. And my kids were like, Dad, we heard that Oakley was dropping a mock. Who were his picks? What were the picks? I'm like, guys, you got to wait. That was the teaser. And they're like, was he going to post it? Where are we going to see it? When are we going to hear it? What's it? And I'm like, still waiting. And Lexi was like, little Lexi Bear goes, it's like he goes, wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, great drop.
Hopefully when I debut all these picks, you will say it's elite when it's all said and done. But Chops, I mean, I do the teaser, and now we're going to give the content for the people.
And the people consist of the millions.
The millions and millions have been waiting, and I was like going to drop it. I'm like, you know what? We're going to do it on the pod. It'll come out on the Twitterverse tomorrow so that people can see it. But Chops, in the first round, with the 17th pick, the Detroit Lions select my boy, Caden Proctor, tackle, Alabama.
I like it.
Here's the context. Here's the context. I kind of set it up. I feel like Dan Freaky Campbell and Brad used to be open for business on draft day, but not so much in free agency or via trades. Holmes is as honest as they are. All this about Penne easily playing left, that's where Dan Campbell wants him. He can easily make that move. They're just baiting the hook out there for keeping all their options open. They can always tell you things change, circumstance change. We didn't think he'd be there. Caden Proctor is there. You can take him. If he's comfortable at left, you can put him there. If he thinks he can play the other side, you want to move Penne, you can do that. He's a big, nasty beast, athletic, lots of size, run game, pass game, lots of snaps, big-time program. I thought this was a great pick, great value at 17 overall.
I absolutely love it, Oakley. Caden Proctor, 40 games played in his college career as a starter, only gave up 5 sacks in his last 2 seasons, only 7 QB hits. The dude's just a monster over, I think some stupid amount of snaps total there, all at left tackle. You slap him in there for the old Decker guy. You keep Penne on the right, and you just let him roll. I like it. Massive, powerful dude. No one's getting by him. He makes up for his a little bit of lack of foot speed. And then I think Logan Lamrandair was out there with the tape measure going, I think his arm length is just an inch too shorter than I'd really like to say. No, it doesn't matter. 366 pounds, 6'7" beast. You just put him up on the left. Let's go.
I also, it's funny, and we talk about how everyone listens to the show. I did this about a week or 10 days ago. I held it close to the vest. I gave a few takes. I kind of waited around. You know what came out yesterday, Chops, via Daniel Jeremiah of the NFL Network or ESPN or whatever he's at these days? You want to know?
Oh, you got to drop it. Let the people know.
He threw out a little nugget just during a discussion about the Lions. Absolutely love Caden Proctor. How about that? Could be Bula Bula, but also could be just a off-the-cuff side take, which is man, if he's there, which I've heard he could go in the top 8, the top 10, if he's there at 17, or even if they want to go up because they love him so much. Rumor innuendo has the Lions loving this prospect, and imagine that. Oakley had him picked weeks ago. And long time ago. Who was the first name I called off? Caden Proctor when we started this whole thing. Before I even dug into anything. Love the guy.
Love it. Love it. What isn't there to not like about this guy? I mean, he's just a big old freak. And you know how Brad...
This episode is brought to you by Ferrero. Soccer's biggest stage is approaching, and Ferrero is making it easy to go all in. Pick any two Ferrero brands from Kinder Bueno to Ferrero Rocher, and you could win the $1 million grand prize, plus an exciting range of daily and weekly prizes. Don't miss your shot. Official rules apply. Learn more at goallinandwin.com.
TaxAct knows every small business owner has different tax filing needs. With TaxAct, you can file yourself with the help of an expert, or TaxAct can do it all for you. You're the boss, the head honcho, the top banana. And TaxAct is like your loyal, trusty tax aide, ready to pounce on any tax needs you might have. TaxAct is dying to pounce on some small business tax needs. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Introducing Home Care Plus, a new subscription service from Lowe's that helps make life easier by giving members a hand with home maintenance. Let Lowe's tackle the tasks you keep meaning to do, like electric dryer vent cleaning, replacing hard-to-reach light bulbs, and more. Subscribe to Home Care Plus for just $99 a year and consider your to-do list done. Members get more at Lowe's. Available in select zip codes only. Cancel anytime. Non-refundable fee. Product purchase required. Terms and service restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Always open for business. Homes on the draft. Loves his Bama boys.
Yep. SEC, everything. All right, so there's our Mat 17. Like you said, you summed it up perfectly. It absolutely solves our offensive line. You don't have to move people. We know we got the interior pretty much solidified now. The run game has got Jameer Gibbs and my boy Pacheco raring to go. Two young cats that got speed, power, all that. So, like, we're back to what we used to do, right? And that just feels right on the offensive line. You can play games and wait longer or take a developmental prospect, or if a guy like this is there, you can just do it, leave pen A and go to work, like you said. So that's where I'm at in round one. In the second round, at pick 50, there's no trades on this mock. It's straight up at 50. I was happy to get this player based on position as well as just what I think he brings to the table. I must admit, I'm still in the deep dive process of watching a little bit more of these players and seeing what they do and reading up on them. But in the second round at pick 50, I got myself an edge, Shabby. I got myself Malachi Lawrence, edge from USC, a guy that's a little bit different body type, but he get after the quarterback, and the fact that he was there at 5-0 and let me get my tackle in the first round, I love that little 1-2 punch that I got there, and PFF loved it as well.
Hey, listen, I'm glad that you broke the ice on the does PFF love this, because you called me out last week and you're like, here's Choppy trying to get himself an A+ on every draft, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's come straight out of your playbook there, Okie doke. But hey, Malachi Lawrence, edge out of USC. That's Central Florida, the Knights, for all you those that don't know. If you don't know, now you know. Nice little PFF score there of an 80. Got a good rotational skills. Like, I know sometimes people think, well, is he an outside linebacker? Like, where does he fit? What does he do? I'm seeing this kid as just a straight dog to rush the pass. Aside Aiden Hutchinson, he's going to be, Aiden's going to get doubled up, and Lawrence is just going to be able to make moves on that other side whenever he wants to. I think he can shift on positions and sides as well, which you love to see. You get the versatility with Hutch on one side. Now we're shifting him over here, making the offensive line a little uncomfortable. They never know who's coming from where. I like Malachi Lawrence with pick 50.
Do you, I'm not expecting you to, but do you have a size in front of you by chance? Height and weight?
Creed does. Who's the man with the stats? Come on now. 6'4", 255 pounds, 22 years old, red shirt senior out of UCF.
Okay, that's what I thought. So he's a taller dude, but in the 250, the Lions like these guys that are 265, 275, 280 that play the run. I feel like Lawrence is got the height you look for, but a little bit more bendy, like you said, kind of that stand-up rusher, which they don't do a ton of. But I'm almost trying to get a guy they don't have a lot of, because I'm tired of them getting the guys that they already got in free agency that are kind of never done anything, always hurt, big body. Hey, he's a tough against the run. He can hold an edge. You know what I need? A guy that can get the quarterback. So I feel like if a player with the talent, the upside, the ability, the everything that Malachi Lawrence has at 50 felt like nice value, nice position of need, and also, again, you're playing the board. I'm trying to get the best player at the best value at positions of need, and I feel like I did all that with that selection. So that's where I'm at with pick 50. I got my edge, got my tackle. Yes, I understand. Oh, but great, that's what everyone says. Yeah, I know. Those are the two positions we need, and I didn't reach. I feel like both of them were guys that I would have liked those spots. They're there. I didn't have any other better options. I took them. Now I can fill out other holes, like in the third round. Let me see here. I got to pull this up. At pick 118, sorry, not in the third, because we don't have a third round. We traded for Isaac Tesla. What do we call him, Chops? I told a bunch of people this recently, and they loved it.
Call him by his proper Vanilla Smooth.
I told random people, friends and family, this story about me trying to go with the Hudson ice cream and the vanilla and the hair and the game.
Vanilla.
And I was like, I sold it all out, and then I was like, my buddy's listening, and he comes up with Vanilla Smooth, and they're like, it's perfect. They go, does he use that on game day? I go, not yet. I mean, not yet, but I'm sure it's going to be on shirts here before you know it. So, I mean, we gave up our third round to get Tesla. He's a hometown favorite. The word is he's going to be a baller this year. I sure hope so, for multiple reasons. But in the fourth round, at pick 118, I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what I could need? You know what I need, Chops? Is somebody that can cover a coffee table, whether it be a corner, nickel corner, maybe a coverage safety, maybe a guy that can move around, do some things. And in the fourth round at 118, I feel like I got a little bit of all of that. Maybe all that and some more. In Jalen Kilgore, corner. Heard he might be some safety ability there. From South Carolina at 118. I like this player. I'm still doing more homework, but when I looked around the board, I'm like, give me this versatile corner that can do some things and maybe cover our while Branch, Kerbo are getting back up to speed. Like the pick.
This episode is brought to you by MGM Plus. From and its Horrors returns for season 4, centered around a town that traps all those who enter. Terrifying creatures that come out at night. Horrors some wished had stayed buried, where desperate hope leads to darker truths. Dangerous new arrivals, a sinister figure, a shocking revelation. From season 4 premieres April 19th on MGM Plus. Some doors should remain closed.
With Sam's Club, you have the freedom to shop your own way. Curbside pickup, delivered to your doorstep, come in and grab it yourself. Yes, yes, yes. They've got plenty of options. Your call. Say yes to shopping the way you want. Join now at samsclub.com/yes and. You must be 18 years or older to purchase a membership, and membership is subject to qualifications. Visit samsclub.com/yes and for details.
Your favorite local grocery stores like Kroger, Ralph's, Fred Meyer, and more are now delivering on Uber Eats. Get 40% off your order of fresh, quality ingredients. Whether you just got home to an empty fridge or suddenly got a craving to whip up something new, you can get everything you need delivered in as little as 25 minutes. Get 40% off your order with code Kroger2026. Plus, members get $0 delivery fees. Order now on Uber Eats. Orders of $30 or more save up to $25. Ends 4/30/26. See app for details.
This episode is brought to you by Beneful. Mornings are when the grind starts. Stretches, immaculate. Cardio, crushed it. Territory, marked. Sorry, geraniums. The dog routine is on point, but it can get a little wolf. That's why I fuel up with high-protein, Beneful freshly prepared meals. I'm eating clean with real meat and veggies, served fresh from the pantry. Kick boring in the bowl with Beneful freshly prepared meals. Visit Purina.com/Beneful to shop now.
This episode is brought to you by Stouffer's. Here comes three-time juggling champion Natalia Rogers. She's juggling law school, her TA job. Oh, narrowly catches the laundry. What's that fourth ball? Parents unexpectedly showed up at dinner time? Is that too much for Natalia? Not with Stouffer's Chicken Alfredo and its mouth-watering mix of Asiago, Romano, and Parmesan. When you're juggling 4 things at once and the clock strikes dinner, think Stouffer's.
Yeah, Jalen Kilgore's, he's a gamecock. So, you got to love that. Hey, do you want his stats here? Let me give you a little intangibles here, little measurements, little 6'1", 211 junior, 21 years old. He's got length. He's got strength. He's got explosiveness. I love this guy. He's kind of been known a bit more as a nickel defender, but again, I think he's got some versatility. I can give you the breakdowns later if you want. He can play in the slot. He can play in the box. He's all over the place. PFF scores, maybe a little bit less than desirable at a 69.7, but I'm okay with that. I like this player coming out of the South Carolina.
You know who I can't get in round 4, but I also don't know that I could take him with pick 50? My guy Bud Clark, the safety ball hawk, almost like a Kerbo clone of sorts, but I couldn't make it happen in this mock. So this is where it gets a little kooky, Chops. In the 4th round with another pick that we got, I think this was via trade for, I don't know, Demo, faux show, How about taking Marlon Klein? Let's go! Tight end, Michigan. And to me, you could say, it's a luxury pick. We don't need another tight end. I even heard a couple listeners saying, when I even brought him up on the old Oakrey Targets, they were like, we have, what's his nuts? Conklin. I'm like, Marlon Klein to me, if you're getting him in the late, this is like the last pick in the 4th. Dude's got size, upside, catchability. He was coached right. He can fit right in there. You know where he's going to fit in my depth chart. Right behind Mr. Biscuits and right in front of your boy, Brock Wright. So I like Marlon Klein a lot. I know he kind of had some injuries and some up and downs at Michigan, but I see a more upside player. And I think I recently, after I took him, after I had this mock tucked away, I'm listening to a pod and I hear Todd McShay go, you know who I think might get into round 2, maybe early round 3? Marlon Klein from Michigan, and he's got more juice and more catchability than most people think, and he can block.
Yeah, I think this guy gets disrespected a little bit, but man, 6'6", 250. Again, he's just a beast, dude. Like, he's super intriguing to me. I think he's the kid that didn't start playing football till his junior year of high school, right? Like, he was a basketball player, then he came over to football, and now he's just in this tight end spot. Like, how Michigan loves to use those tight ends. This guy, he loves to block, but he's also got huge upside. I think he not a lot of touchdowns to show for, but plenty of receptions. I think he had almost 25 or 30 last year. So I think Marlon Klein is going to climb up the board. If you look at where he was towards the end of the year last year, he was way down in the 200s. Now some people got him up in the hundreds. So you know how I love my Michigan boys. This would be a good offset for the Bama boy with the first pick at 17. Give me some Marlon Klein.
And here's another reason why I target and why I think a secondary, wherever you want to slot him. And if Conklin's good, great. If Brock Wright knows his role and maybe gives you a little something extra, he's not a bad football player. But what I need, too, is a guy that's not as good as Sam Laporta, for all the Laporta supporters. But we cannot go with one body and next to nothing or a huge drop-off behind him. So I'm not penciling Tyler Conklin into just a TE2, and if an injury happens, he's a TE1. I almost need a young guy or somebody that can fill that role if need be and give me some flex. Biscuits is coming off a back injury. There's been some trade rumor innuendo. There's I can't just have my 2 and my 3 be mostly a blocker or a guy that's not done much in the league or all injury prone. So I feel like that's where I would be willing to get fresh blood to kind of cover our butt, as well as just like say, hey, the 1-2 depth chart is going to be solid. It's not going to be 1 and then a 4 behind him, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. And using a fourth round pick on a guy like that is not, I mean, look, some people are, oh, that's a wasted value. For me, it's not. You got Sammy Biscuits coming off of the injury. You got Big Brock, who is also coming off of an injury. Yes, I understand. We got Tyler Conklin. Great. Like, I'm fine with that. I have no problems. I think that's a sneaky good pickup. He could have a great up year. But like, if you have those 2 first guys and they're injured and you have a backup in Klein who's can be, out there behind Conklin, you got to have depth, people. That's why it's about. Like, do you remember at one point in time, I think we had like Zach Horton out there, like making catches because every other tight end was hurt? Like, you got to have depth. This is a kid who's got big upside, loves to block. He's down, dirty, and gritty coming from Michigan. And he knows how to win.
And the untapped upside, like you said. So I think it's late fourth, too. This isn't a high fourth. This isn't taking a flyer in the second or third. This is waiting it out and saying, man, I like this position, this player, and this value here. Too much to pass on it. This is kind of where it got dicey for me, round 5, pick 157, still doing my homework. I really sat on this one for a while. I'm looking around, kind of going, maybe that guy, maybe I take this position. Can I wait on this pick? Should I take this person? And the person I settled on, Chops, was I went ahead and gave the old Oak Creek double dip. I went back to the edge position. I need more bodies in case you have a depth chart. We got Hutch. I mean, he's ready to be unleashed. We know this.
Unleash Hutch.
And after that, we've got...
Yep.
Exactly. Some guy named Wanham and help me out with all the other established bodies we have at the edge rusher position. So I went ahead and got Malachi Lawrence in round 2. I came back and I did a little homework on this guy, and he had a lot of things that kind of added up to me. PFF loved this as well. In round 5, Max Llewellyn from Iowa. Big edge type player. Has some production, has this a size that we're looking for, just kind of fit a lot of the boxes. And if I can get myself another body that can do anything against the passer and also plays at Iowa, so he can play in the bad weather, you're pretty sure he can play well in all phases of the game. Like, I felt like he was the best player on the board at the time. He was a very premier position, in my opinion. I know Brad Holmes doesn't love that, but edge is a premier spot, whether you want to say it or not. He plays in the North, in the Midwest here, which we love, and I felt like give it to me. PFF A- with this pick in the mid 5th round at 157, so I'll take it.
Yeah, look, I mean, again, I love how you're touting your PFF scores after you called me out on that, by the way. Thanks. Continue to do that, please, for the next 4 picks.
I only mentioned the good ones so far. They haven't liked all my picks. I mentioned
6'5", 263-pound senior out of Iowa. Yeah, dude, like this is one of those dudes that he's got a couple of different moves that he can do with his edge rush or his pass rush move, but like he's got a big motor, loves to effort. Again, I think what he lacks in like natural talent, he kind of makes up for in his effort. I think he lines up pretty much outside the tackle, which is what we would expect, but pretty good production for an Iowa boy. I think 6 sacks both last year and the year before that. 17 QB hits between the 2 years. And then again, really the pressure on the quarterback too. Like he may not have been able to get home, but he had 28 hurries and then 23 hurries in 2024. So the guy can get to the quarterback and he also can get his hands on the ball. I think he had 5 or 6 batted balls in college. So you're telling me you're going to get that in the 5th round? Sign me up.
Chops, I must say, too, I don't give you too much credit on this show. One, because that's kind of what we do is bust each other's chops. But also, like, I don't know where you're pulling all these stats out, but you are loaded up with numbers, and you also have either been doing a lot of homework or your AI Google machine is working extra speed here, which I appreciate. Because as much as I love doing this mock, and I kind of like these names, we got about 2 weeks left, and we're going to try to get the Dane Brugler Beast draft guy. We're going to have to do a couple other things, and I don't know how much time you got reading on the plane, or while you're taking your kids to hockey, or while you're coaching hockey, or while you're sitting at home watching the Red Wings, or whatever else you're doing. But, like, we need to put in, like, a crash session like I used to do back in college, where I wouldn't even start my report until, like, 3 a.m. the day it was due, and I'd still get an A on it, and everybody would say, man, that was tremendous, Oakley guy. That was, how long did that take you? I was like, I did it about 30 minutes ago. That's kind of where we're going to be at with the draft. But I feel like it's all going to come together, buddy. And I appreciate your content. I like these takes. You got good takes. You haven't beat me up too much. Again, PFF didn't like a lot of these grade-wise, but I'm going to put it out to the people. Maybe eliminate those grades so people can take it for what they feel. But we're here in round 5, and this is where it gets crazy, Chops. I don't know if you're going to like this. You're going to hate it. Maybe a little bit of both. At 181 in the 5th round, this is where I was looking around again, and there was options that were intriguing, but like some people are gonna go like, this pick isn't gonna help you, like, it's you don't have room for a guy like this. You know who I have room for in the late 5th round, Chops, for a team like we have, is a guy like Indiana center Pat Coogan. In round 5, I have the knuckleheads in the afternoon on the old 97.1 saying they were considering this guy at 17. They were praying they get him in the 2nd round. Here in the old PFF mock on the old Oakley mocky, I'm waiting it out, and he's staring me in the face at 181 in the 5th round. I've got my depth safety. Depth backup center. He can probably play both interiors as well, and he's just a nasty interior offensive lineman. I can't have too many of those, even though I got a lot, but most of my other guys only play left and right guard. So there's my center swing player, and I got Scruggs that can do that, and other guys that can, but nobody can do it as well as Pat Coogan. So I know we paid for Mays. I know we have some other guys that can do it, but this guy is too much of a Dan freaking Campbell football player for me to pass on him in round 5 at 181. Love his game, love his nasty, love the way he plays, but I don't love him in the first 2, 3, maybe even 4 rounds, but I love him in round 5, I think.
Oakley, if you're telling me that I can get the potential center of the future, because look, I love Cade Mays. I think he's going to be solid, but again, he's not going to be around forever. So you always, injuries happen. You got to have a good backup. You're telling me I can get Pat Coogan, national champion center, Pat Coogan in the 5th round with pick 181. Huge upside. I think this guy is going to have, again, the sky's the limit with this kid. 6'5", 311 pounds. Like I mentioned, he's got a natty under his belt. He started out as a freshman at left guard, and then they shifted him up to the center. Over 1,800 snaps at center over those 2 years, incredible. One including a national championship. The guy hasn't allowed a sack. Let me get this here. Did not allow a sack last year. Didn't even allow his quarterback to get hit last year. And the year before that, 1 sack allowed and 2 hits allowed. So the guy can protect you. His quarterback is rumbling, stumbling, and flying all over the place, bumbling a little bit. Not so much fumbling, but throwing tugs. And this guy can protect all for days. Give me some Pat Coogan in the 5th round at 181. Are you kidding me? Woo! Let's go!
Baby! Oh, baby!
All right, I didn't know if you'd be on board, but to me, it's just staring out like a sore thumb, and it's like he can beat you for injury. Maybe he's even better than Mays if he can swing inside. If other injuries, it's just it made a lot of sense.
I've seen drafts taking this kid as high as the 3rd round, Oakley. So you're telling me I'm getting him into 5th? I'm in. I am in.
But Chappie, he's never gonna be there.
But Oakley, if he's in the MAC, you take him. If he's in the MAC, you take him. I don't want to hear it, people.
If he's available in the mock, we take. How many times we got to say it? All right.
There it is.
In round 6, at pick 205, I told you in round 3 that I got myself a guy that hopefully can help cover a coffee table with some versatility. In round 6, 205, I went and got a player that wowed me at the combine. A guy that seems like an ultra competitor. a guy that put up better numbers than expected and just seems like a dude that's going to work his tail off to be good and do anything you ask him to. My only issue is the college.
Hey, listen, Ohio State sucks.
Ohio State is vanquished.
At 205, give me the brother Styles, Lorenzo Styles Jr., safety, can move around. I've heard, hey, he's going to be a late pick. Hey, he might go undrafted. He's not going to go undrafted when you ran what he ran. Did you see Mama Styles, who was like, these dudes compete at everything. They play. Yeah. They are trying to be the best at all times. His brother is going to be a top 8 selection and is an absolute physical specimen. Lorenzo, not so much. You know what that means? He's going to work twice as hard, do whatever you ask him to, and be a football player, even depth, special teams, whatever I need him to do. I'm taking him at 205, forgetting where he went to school, and welcoming to the team.
Well, listen, if anybody who's got a brother, if you ever been the other brother, you know you got to bust your butt, you got to work hard, and with this dude's brother being a top brother being a top 10 pick, maybe even a top 5 pick from what I'm seeing, Lorenzo wants to get into the action. He wants to go to a winner. How about he wins a Super Bowl before his brother does? And he goes for the Lions. At the pick 205, I like this pick. The kid plays the slot mostly, but he also has some ability to play the deep too, man. So you can shift him around a little bit. We've got some injury issues at safety, so having some depth is good. Of course, what was he? A 2-year starter at Ohio State? Because he is what? I think he's a grad class, so I think he was a transfer too. So he's a little bit older, 23 years old. But look, man, Lorenzo Styles has got something to prove. You know he's going to have a chip on his shoulder because his brother went so high. He's going to want to come around here and play for the Lions and prove everybody that he's just as good as his brother.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You know those friends who support your preference for podcasts over music on road trips? That's the energy State Farm brings to insurance. With over 19,000 local agents, they help you find the coverage that fits your needs, so you can spend less time worrying about insurance and more time enjoying the ride. Download the State Farm app or go online at statefarm.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Brother. Chops, we got 2 more selections, but before I get to those, I need you to do something for the people. You ready?
Oh, gosh. All right. Let me take my breath. Go ahead.
Hold on. Do you want to just report what just happened in the old hockey game while we're recording? We're multitasking here.
Yeah. I guess I can do that for the people. Woo! Hashtag Choppy Hockey. Justin, what the folk? Scores go-ahead goal. Goal number 2 for him this game. The Red Wings are up 3-2 with what? What's the time left? 3 minutes left? 4 minutes left? Let's go!
The best part about Falk, too, is like he hasn't done anything on the stat sheet, but I've loved how he's played. So for him to get 2 goals in this game and for him to come off the injury list, too, and show up like this is huge. Now what I need is 4 minutes left, the Red Wings to actually close the door. No cheap goals, no last-second goals, no going to overtime, no shootouts. Get this dub. All right. But before we get to my last 2 picks, Chops, I need you to do something for the people, and that's this.
Oh, something else? That wasn't what I was doing? Okay.
Yeah, well, that was a bonus Red Wings take because it just happened live while recording. What I need you to do is your Hulk Hogan voice, but I need you to do something like, let me tell you something, and then I need, like, let me tell you something, Styles, brother. Something like that. I think you can do it.
Oh, my gosh. Well, let me tell you something, Styles, brother.
Oh, so good,
brother.
Thank you,
brother.
So we'll see if we get one of the.
Say your prayers and eat your vitamins, kids. The brothers are coming your way.
I think again, you can hate on that pick, but I think you could play a couple different spots, a little bit smaller. But I also saw an interview with him, Chops, on one of the networks, Good Morning Football, one of these, and came off so well. Kind of no nonsense, a business type guy, but. Great kid, great person, which is hard to say for Ohio State Buckeye. But, it just stood out to me. Like, hey, I get that type of talent with, what do you run? Like 4.3? No, not 4.3. Probably was like a mid 4.4 guy. Like, can't teach that either. So
4.2. 4.42. 4.42, I think is what
Chops, you seem to be sort of liking the Oakley mock. I'm not saying this the end-all, be-all, but I like the names I'm getting. I like the value. I'm plugging holes, but I'm not going straight up like, hey, need. I'm trying to get some players where I can get them. And you might really need to pull up the old Copilot AI, because I'm about to hit you with a name you probably don't know, but you should. And that's at pick 213, wide receiver, Tyron Montgomery from John Carroll. Chops, pull up his stats. I was looking around. I see this kid. He's kind of ranked high. I don't really need a receiver, but I can always take one. I believe I pulled up his stats, and I think it said 1,300 to 1,600 yards, probably double-digit touchdowns. I think he had over 100 catches. Like, this guy's putting up crazy numbers. I don't care where he went to school. If you're putting up those kind of volume, those kind of stats, those kind of tugs, he's got a place on my football team, especially late in round 6 at 213. I believe he showed out at the Senior Bowl, which is an Oakley staple. If you play good at the Senior Bowl or people are talking all about you, then you're on my radar. And that's Tyron Montgomery, the kid, the wide receiver from John Carroll.
Oh my gosh. Listen, anytime you are pulling out a Blue Streaks player from John Carroll, you know we're deep. Give
the stats, Chop. Tell the people what the numbers are, because I was blown away.
You want to hear the numbers? First of all, he's 6'1", 190 pounds. He's a graduate. This actually shocks me a little bit here, Oakley. He's 24. He'll be 25 when the draft hits. But here you go. 14 games played. What did he have here? Like 1,530 yards, 15 tugs, 119 receptions. I don't care if you're playing pee-wee football all year. Those are some hella numbers. 1,530 yards, 15 tugs, and 14 games played. What else can you say but woo?
I got him in late round 6. This is where the Lions are always taking a look. He can run down on kicks. Hey, he can do wind sprints. Maybe he'll be a good long snapper. I'm getting myself not only a wide receiver, but a guy that has numbers. He could probably return kicks. He could do a lot of other things for you than just play special teams. Give me Montgomery from John Carroll. I was blown away by the numbers, and like I say, at the end of the draft, what are you doing? You're pulling lottery tickets hoping you find one, so I feel like I may have one there. And then I'm about to pull another lottery ticket at 222 Rod Wood selection here in round 7? Mid-round 7.
There you go. You know, before you move it, before you drop the last one here, I gotta say, you know how I love me some flyer wide receivers from no-name colleges, okay? So you're right in my wheelhouse with this pick with T. Montgomery. Let's go. We had to replace the D. Montgomery. Now we got a T. Montgomery.
T-Mo! Let's go.
T-Mo.
Full show, you know?
Full show. No, let's go. Let's go.
And this is another polarizing pick, but it feels like an Oakley just masterclass, I feel like here. Round 7, 222 Republic Drive, or whatever the Lions, that's the actual Lions headquarters. I'm getting quarterback from Arkansas. Chop's already like, quarterback, I hate this pick. Yeah, I figured you would until I announced that it's Taylon Green. He ran about a 4.3 40. He had like a 40-inch vert. He can do a whole bunch of things. He had a nice college career. And did I mention I'm getting him in round 7 at 222 as an absolute athlete, quarterback flyer that can learn behind Teddy Bridgewater. Ya boy.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Expedia, you're here. But are you here? You go to Hawaii in your head all the time. During meetings, in the car, Hawaii is on the mind. But when you're ready to go, there's Expedia, the one place you go to go places. Flights, hotels, vacation homes, cars, You can save when you bundle or book as you go and still save. So what are you waiting for? Expedia, the one place you go to go places. Members only. Savings vary.
Are your ad campaigns lighting up the dashboard, but not the pipeline? That's bull spend, and marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
My boss asked for results, so I opened my dashboard for the only positive-sounding metric I had: impressions.
Cut the bull spend. See revenue, not just reach. LinkedIn delivers the highest return on ad spend of major ad networks. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
You know you need fiber for a healthy gut, but do you actually know how to get it? Quaker's been serving up fiber since 1877, with over 100 great-tasting, good source of fiber options to choose from. Whether you like old-fashioned oats, instant oatmeal, granola, or oatmeal squares, Quaker makes it delicious. So good. Get your fiber with Quaker. Shop Quaker's good source of fiber products at a store near you.
Refreshing wild cherry cola meets smooth cream. The treat you deserve. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. Treat yourself.
Jared Goff, and even if I can just use him in packages or if he's there in case of emergency to run around and do some athletic things while he learns how to throw, Taylor Green could be like a second rounder, third rounder, middle round pick. If he's there in round 7 and the Lions haven't taken that position, I'm considering it. So I know you hate it because you're boy, but I also think upside, athlete, does other things that Jared Goff can't do, and you got plenty of time to sort of build him up. He needs some seasoning, but I don't think he's going to be there, but he's there in the mock. And so I looked around, I go, freaking give me Taylor Green from Arkansas. Let's go.
You probably watched him run around and act like a fool a few times, so he's athletically gifted. So look, you're talking about pick two in the 7th round. So if you want to draft a kid like that to go behind, look, we all know that we just played this carousel of backup quarterbacks. How many times can Teddy Bridgewater come back to the Lions? So look, you want to draft Taylor Green, again, 6'6", 235. He's a redshirt senior, 23 years old. Again, super athletic, very well built. He's got to clean up his, he's inconsistent, right? But like, he's not coming in and going to be a starter. You don't have to worry about that, right? He can hold a clipboard behind, my boy Jared Goff for the next 4, 5, 6 years, and then we'll be just fine. But again, the kid's got good passer ratings, 91.9 in 2025. I think it was like almost 90% passer rating in 24. So, a little bit of picks to clean up here. Loves to throw the picks, but look, 2,700 yards, 3,100 yards, completion center percentage hanging right around 60. I don't have a problem with it. Let's take a flyer on T Green in the 7th round.
Some people view it as like a throwaway pick because, like what you just said, hey, he's going to sit for 4 or 5 years. I view late round QB flyers with athletic upside and developmental traits as a absolute lottery ticket and hey, our starter goes down. Instead of going with some bumsky veteran, even Teddy Bridgewater to me is a good tape watching, clipboard holder, locker room leader-ish player that can give you a game or so or whatever. But I feel like Taylor Green, if you really got in a pinch, could go out there and, like I said, not only run around, but might just be able to develop into something a little bit better than average. And what else are you getting in the 7th? How many times do you take a guy in the 7th and he's just like a cut candidate or a 6th on the depth chart? I'd rather just take a developmental QB and hope that I find lightning in a bottle that can be a solid to upper tier backup like we thought we were getting in Mr. Hendon Hooker. And like you said, he has time to do that and all that. So, Chops, I'm trying to give my breakdown.
Can I cut in here real quick and say that as soon as you said quarterback, my brain went straight to, the kid from North Dakota State University, Cole Payton. I thought that's where you were going with that. Dude has a monster PFF score, puts up a boatload of stats, But I thought that's who you were going to go. But I'm okay with Taylor Green. All right, carry on.
North Dakota been a little rough with my boy Trey Lance, who I thought was going to be incredible. He hasn't even really got a shot. But I don't know. I mean, there were other QBs, and like I said, it's not even really a need. Here's my strategy, Chops. You can wait in this draft to round 5, 6, or 7 for a really solid running back if the Lions want to add another piece there, or if they feel they need a developmental quarterback, you can definitely get one in round 6 or 7 that has some whatever the Lions are looking for. Again, this is me making the pick, so this is what I'm looking for. And Chops, I'm trying to give my breakdown. I'm trying to stay composed, but your freaking Red Wings just gave up a tying goal again with 16 seconds left. Are you kidding me? I hate this team. I see this every freaking game. How many times do I text you and I'm like, did they really just give up a goal with 10 seconds left again and now they're going to lose in overtime? This happens consistently with this hockey team.
I mean, I hate to tell you this. They are going to win it overtime, but that is weak sauce shot right there. I know they had the goalie pulled, but Gibbs has got to make that save. I'm frustrated. Man, we could do I got to do a Kool-Aid packet one of these days on the Red Wings because, man, I'm just like, I love them, then I hate them, then I want to, I'm throwing octopi, and then I'm throwing feces. You never know what's going on with these guys, man. They're all over the place. Our
boy Fantilli got the goal from Michigan, but he's on the other team. But I swear, can you even count how many times we have a late third period lead? No teams give away late third period leads. It's very rare. The freaking Red Wings do it like it's their job. It's like if you're up 1 or 2, I almost think the other team has a better chance of winning than we do. It's insane. And you say, we're going to win in OT. How many times do we either get roasted, toasted, extra crispy in OT, or heaven forbid we go to a shootout and win one of those? Gosh almighty.
Well, I hear it. Look, man, I get the frustration. We are the kings of giving up the first goal in an early hole, and then battling back, and then blowing a lead. Like that's just what
I literally looked up, and I'm like, hey, less than 20 seconds. All they got to do is get it clear, maybe hit an empty net, and the next thing you know, it's in our net. All right, I'm done.
Well, it's about to be in the other team's net right here.
They better find a way right here because this is inexcusable. You're even in this spot. I mean. This stupid 3-on-3 hockey. Choppy, that's the Oakley mock. 7 rounds. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 football players for a football team. I didn't trade around the board. I didn't give up future assets like Brad. Open for business on draft day. Loves to just give away third rounders like they're candy or trade up to get every guy that he's got on his little note card that he brings in. I was just sitting and picking, waiting to see what's there. I feel like when you really look at it as a whole, you're like the first few rounds, plug some holes, got some big names, got some football players, padded some depth, took a few flyers, added to positions we think are important, like the interior offensive line, edge, got my tackle, and then started getting crazy with like safeties, wide receivers, quarterback. But overall, I did not mind the names I got, and for me, it's always about where do you get them. Like, you can go ahead and take people you like all day long, but if you don't get them at a good spots based on where they're projected to go or guys that you really believe in, it doesn't even matter. So I feel like I like the guys I got, I liked where I got them, and I feel like I built off the damn good football team the Lions already have. So I feel pretty good about it. It's basically like Oakley Mock 1.0. I might have put out one other one, but I don't even remember. It was probably like a 2-rounder because I didn't know anybody. And like, I'm in warp speed now. By like 2 weeks, I'm going to have more takes on players. I'm going to be reading off stats like you. I got more guys I like. The Oakley board, the target board is expanding by the moment. So I got about 50 names, 75 names up there that I like in all these different rounds. So we'll be ready to go come draft day, buddy.
Yeah, Oakley, just to give the people another quick recap here. So, look, you got, 17 tackle, Proctor, 50 edge, Lawrence, 118 Kilgore, cornerback, 128 Klein, the tight end, 157 Llewellyn, the edge. I'm going to slaughter every name. I like to do this. 181 Coogan, 205 Styles, 213 T Montgomery, and 222 T. Green, the quarterback from Arkansas. I actually really like this strategy, Okri. I love that you double dipped on edge because we know that's a spot where we just need it because we don't have any depth. I like getting some guys out there. I like getting some backup at the tight end there. I think you address the tackle position with a guy who's just going to be like a lifer, who could be a lifer left tackle, like we have to replace in Taylor Decker there. I actually absolutely think the steal of the draft could be your boy Coogan at 181, the center from Indiana University, locking down the center position because you know how damn important it is once Caden Mays is done. I love this draft. I look around here, I go, steal, Pro Bowl. Woo!
Oh, man.
Way to go, buddy.
That's high praise, as well as, like, as much as people know we love having fun and beating each other up about fantasy football or all our different takes on players. Like, the fact that you're giving it a pretty good grade. We got some wooies, we got some Hulk Hogan brothers, we got some takes, lots of stats, of course. I feel like that's a good start. And, like, I'm about to fall in love with, like, 20 or 30 more players before draft day, just based on interviews, things I read about these players. So plenty more Okri targets will be raring to go, but I felt pretty good about this one. So good stuff, man. Always fun to work through a mock. I think that people will like that. Again, part of me too is almost like wanting to stay with a lot of the names that we're hearing, but it's all about, are they going to be available? Where would you take them? What other options are out there? So I'm not really trying to reinvent the wheel, and I'm kind of hopeful because it usually works out. Like when the Lions take players that we like or that we've heard a lot about, they usually turn out to be really good. And when they take some person we've never heard of 3 rounds too early, we're like, ugh, and then we're like, well, he's on our team, maybe he's got this upside, or we hear his story and we try to sell it to ourselves, and then we're like, yeah, they're not as good as we think. Chops, man. These freaking Red Wings, bro. They get breakaways, 2-on-1s, and they cannot bury the puck. Go to shooting practice, man. Do they need me to get out there and show you how to roof the puck under the bar, or what's the problem here?
I think the problem is they're not rocking the white 91 Nikes that you used to have out there in the old street hockey rollerblades. But yeah, man, I know it's frustrating. The Wings are frustrating. You know who's not frustrating? The Lions when they're drafting, because Brad always open for business. Holmes is going to make some steals. He's going to have the challenge has been set. The Okri Maki 1.0 is really taking Brad Holmes to task and saying, match what I did here, find some studs like I did. Okri, I know we bust chops. Pun intended. I know we go back and forth with who we shoulda, who we coulda, what we woulda, but man, I'm impressed with this. Again, we're just two dudes behind the laptop, behind the mic, putting our picks together. I like this draft. There's more to come. Let's go.
Everybody, that's what we got. And we'll catch you next time right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast, talking more NFL draft. Take care, everybody. We're out.
Coogan.
Drink it in, man.
Cornbread! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in, man.
Cornbread! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in, man. Drink it in, man.